Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I thought I would show you guys how to really put on makeup for the summer that's going to help make it last, because you guys know that sometimes it gets so hot, and especially this year I feel like every area that usually gets hit pretty bad with summer has gotten it even worse, especially here in Atlanta. It's been awful, and I want to show you guys how to use products in a way that's going to make it last, but also while looking pretty minimalist for the summer. You don't want to look like you've been caked on. So the products that are going to help you look that way, and how to prep your skin before you put on certain foundation to the summer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see how I got this look, then keep watching. Hey guys, to start off with, we're going to go ahead and prime our face. I think that's the most important thing. If you want to have less makeup in your face, you have to make sure that your base is pretty solid so that it's not going to disappear or make your face oily throughout the day, that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is use a primer that really helps me with oil control, which is the Face Protect Protection Visage SPF 50 by MAC. I think this is just simply the best for somebody who has oily skin. I have yet to meet its rival because I don't think it exists yet. Then what we're going to go ahead and do is the under eye area and our eyelids. So my favorite under eye concealer that I use is the NW35 by MAC Pro Longwear. That's my color. You could also go a little bit lighter if you're my color. If you want to have the super bright-eyed look, it's completely up to you. And I'm going to actually apply that with this concealer brush right here. It is by Samantha Chapman. And you're also going to go onto each eyelid. Alright, so then we're going to have to set that with a powder. So I'm just going to use my MAC Studio Fix right here and NC42 just as a base. You're just going to powder onto your lid. That'll also help bring back some of your normal color, so that it looks like you're not wearing anything on your lid, just because that is my normal skin color. Alright, then what I'm going to go ahead and do is just use a few different eyeshadows. The first one that I'm going to go ahead and do is this one's by Inglot. It's DS461. I'm just going to very lightly brush it on with a blender brush like that. And then on top of that, I'm going to use MAC's Mulch eyeshadow. It's kind of like a slightly shimmery brown. I'm just going to put that in the outer corner. Just building into my crease, but we're really not going to do much crease work at all. And then, of course, I'm going to go on and put on my highlight, which is my Inglot eyeshadow 328. You guys know that I love that. You can go pretty heavy with this, because since we haven't done much for the rest of the eyes, it's completely okay to go with a harsher highlight, just because you want your bone structure to show off, and the only way it's going to happen is if you have groomed eyebrows and you bring it out with this highlight. Alright, then what I'm going to go ahead and do is use this Inglot eyeliner. This is a soft precision eyeliner, color 43. And I'm just going to go ahead and use that as my top and bottom eyeliner. Okay, now what we're going to go ahead and do is brighten up our inner tear duct a lot. So for that, we're going to be using that same Inglot eyeshadow as before, and I'm also going to be using some of Virgin by the Urban Decay Naked Palette. because we want to go pretty bright with this. So first, with the Inglot eyeshadow, I'm going to place that in my inner tear duct, kind of see what it does. And then we'll build on that with some other eyeshadows. Okay, this one is Version. I'm also going to go ahead and do is bring that down a little bit farther right here. If done correctly, this can really help brighten, but if not done correctly, it can also look like two white dots. Alright, now for the face, that's also really important, as you guys know, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom y'all out. What I'm going to, actually let me zoom in this part. What I'm going to do is that I have already put on my primer, right? So now what I'm going to do is that if you have big pores and you're going to use a powder foundation like I am today, you don't want to go in using that if you haven't done anything to help conceal those pores. So because the powder will just accentuate it and make it look worse. You look like you have little holes all over your nose. So what I'm going to do is use the MAC Skin Refined Zone treatment right here. And you want to pat this on onto all the areas that you have bigger pores. You don't want to rub. It's not going to work. You have to like pat it in. And it's like a sticky texture, and you'll see that your the areas that you put this on will immediately become a lot more matte, which is what it's supposed to do, but it's also going to help make your pores look a lot smaller. And that's what you want to, that's why you're patting it in, because you want to push it into the pores, not just rub it around. I think that a regular liquid foundation will cover this just fine. Your pores just fine if you don't use this, but a powder foundation can definitely help accentuate some things that you don't want to accentuate if you don't correct it first. Okay, so after that, what we're going to go ahead and do is that since powder foundations don't generally have as much coverage, if you have some things that you want to cover up, go ahead and pick out your favorite concealer for your face and use that. This is my NC42 Concealer Studio Finish by MAC, and I'm going to actually put that on with a Crown Brush CF or C410 flat concealer brush, just like this. These concealers are pretty thick, but they're not that malleable if you don't like warm it up a little bit. So warming it up in your hand is a pretty good idea. And go ahead and put on the powder foundation. I'm using the Studio Fix by MAC. One thing to watch out for is that if you're applying a powder foundation, because you're going to be doing so much rubbing around, you need to make sure that your primer has really had some time to soak in. If not, then when you're rubbing this in your face, you're really taking off the primer underneath it, which means that the oil control in your foundation is not going to be as good as it should have been. So I'm using MAC's NC42 Studio Fix powder foundation, and I'm just rubbing it on with a big powder brush. This is the Sigma SS150. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is bronze the top of my hairline. This is a MAC's Mineralized Skin Finish in the color Dark, using a big fan brush like this, and it's just going to help me make my look a little bit more three-dimensional, because I feel like with any foundation, if you don't do at least a little bit of contouring or blush or something, you're going to look so two-dimensional, because the thing that foundation does is it's supposed to make you look perfect. It's supposed to make you look completely flawless, and it does that with just one color, and no one's normal human face is ever just one color. So your foundation can kind of take out some of the lifelike qualities of your face, so you need to bring it back with some other products. So I've gone ahead and done some bronzer, and then my favorite thing to do is that since my face is so matte now, because of the summertime, I want to do that just because a powder foundation is going to stay on a little bit longer in the summer, because in general powder foundations have more oil control properties, and liquids kind of slide off your face. The more that you're outside, stuff like that, it might not last as long. So instead of just looking so powdered on, what I want to do is bring back some life with some colors that are shimmery. So that's why for my blush, I'm going to be using a shimmery blush right here. This is by Victoria's Secret. It's called Pleasure, and it is a mineralized duo blush. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is put this on with a stippling brush like this. I like to use stippling brushes with shimmery products because I think that it picks up less product. Shimmery products can go wrong very easily, so I don't want to pick it up with a normal brush like this, because if it picks up too much, you can end up looking very clownish. So you're going to find the apple tip of your cheeks and rub that on. Then what I'm going to go ahead and do, a new little trick that I have been doing recently. This is Ben Nye's lip color pencil in the color Wineberry. What you're going to go ahead and do is draw in your lips with this. Very, very lightly though. You basically want like a pretty pink base for your lips. Then what I'm going to do is take one of my favorite nude colors. You can pick up anything that you really like that isn't so opaque. And for me, that is the Heather Buff lipstick by Bobbi Brown. This has been discontinued. This is all that I really have. And I'm going to pick that up with a lip brush, just like this. So what this does now is it kind of acts like a lip stain, because lip liners stay on much longer than lipsticks do, which is why people like to use them as lipsticks now. But by putting on the nude on top of it, makes the red underneath it that I put on much lighter. So, and it, like, you know, what we've really gotten is like a pretty pink lip. But what this also does is that now when you drink from a glass or you eat food or something, you know, like the shininess of the lipstick that you put on top of it might come off, but what's underneath it will still stay and it'll look like a lip stain, basically. So I've given it a little bit more staying power than a normal lipstick would have without a lip liner base. And then of course we are going to curl our eyelashes and do our eyebrows. So I'm going to go ahead and use MAC's Lingering Eye Pencil, and I'm going to use this little eyebrow brush and just brush up my eyebrows to get the right shape. And then I'm going to fill it in a tiny bit with this. And then I'm going to be using Makeup Forever Smoky Lash Extra Black Mascara. This is just the best. I don't even know why I keep trying out new mascaras, because I always come back to this one. So here is the full face. I feel like it looks really natural. Powder foundations, I feel like, do the opposite. They don't always look so caked on if you know how to prep your skin beforehand for it, and if you use the right brush to put it on. And I think that they just have a much longer wear in the summer, especially than a liquid foundation. It doesn't come off. It doesn't create those like awful sunglass little bumps right here that people get. So it's just a good product for the summertime. Also, if you guys think that this is not what you like it's not dewy enough for you, then what you can always do is take some MAC's Fix Plus, spray this on your face, and you'll get a really, really pretty shine. Another thing that you can also do, which a lot of people like to do, is that they'll take this Fix Plus, spray it onto the brush that you're going to use for your powder foundation, and then put on your powder foundation. So it kind of seals in that shine a little bit. So if you like that sort of look, you can do that. But for me and my skin, I don't want to do that right now, just because I feel like powder foundation for me, after an hour or so, ends up looking pretty normal, because my normal oils soak through and make it look normal. So I don't need that extra boost of shine with the Fix Plus for right now. But if you guys do, then by all means try that out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye!